Hey, Jeff here, and in today's video we're going to do a challenge where I can only flip each item once. So over the course of 2 hours we're going to see how much money I can make or I can lose. Let's find out. 2 hours and 500 mil, let's get those offers in. I decided to start with these Torva plate legs because I wanted a high value item that I can maybe make a pretty nice return on my investment in. So I invested a little over half the money into the one single item, which was in hindsight maybe a dumb idea. And then I moved on to the Kodai wands because those are an item that moves quite a few a day, a couple thousand sometimes a day, and it has a pretty good profit margin most of the time. And I didn't quite realize that only left me with 18 mil, so I moved on to the Eclipse Azultl. It sounds like that weird gecko thing, the Axolotl. You know what I'm talking about. While I'm filling up the GE with offers, I want to talk about the giveaway I'm going to be doing today. So whatever profit I make in this video, I'm going to double and give it away to one person who comments down below. All you have to comment down below is your RSN and anything else you want to comment, but just your RuneScape name. And 1 week from now, so actually on Monday the 8th, I will announce the winner and I will record giving the money away. And yeah, I wanted to give back for doing these videos, and it makes it actually a little bit more fun knowing that how much money I make I'll be giving away. As someone who's flipped for over a decade, I guess, it's always great when there's a new update because there's always new items to flip, and a lot of times when those first few weeks of an update, depending on the size of the update, those items have some great volatility and you can make some like 300-400k profits per item. But for the sake of this video, and you can only flip each item once, I'm just hoping to snipe one for cheap and sell it to some sucker for a little bit more. So the first item actually came through was a Blood Moon Tassets, and they sold for a nice little profit of 89k. Filling that last slot with the Brimstone Ring, but I saw right before that the Team Cape Eye came through. So we get that in, Team Cape Eye comes through, we throw that in, a minute later it sells for a nice profit of 32k. Since that first Team Cape worked well, I'm gonna go to the Team Cape X. It's a different item, it's not the same as the Team Cape Eye, so I throw an offer in for that. 3 minutes go by, that comes through. So these items are really coming in slower. If you want an idea of how long each takes, just keep an eye on that timer in the bottom middle there. Flared Trousers come through, get those. Those are nice because they're used to Master Clue Scroll. Brimstone Ring comes through and it sells for a nice profit of 43k. Fun thing with this challenge is you get to look at all sorts of items you normally wouldn't. So like a Fremennik Kilt, I think I tried flipping these when they first came out. I made some pretty good money on them and it came through in a few minutes, so I'm like, alright, maybe this will be a good one to try flipping once. And the Kodai wand, I don't think I realized it had died for a half hour, so I swapped it out for a Boa Phaedrinhin, some Lord of the Rings type name, and throw that offer in. And I'm like getting a little nervous because a half hour's gone by. Boom, Flare Trousers go through, 131k profit. Like usual with my videos, I didn't do too much research into this beforehand. I don't have like a list of items or anything. I was just kind of going as I was going. So a lot of the time in this video is spent looking up items and trying to find items that I could actually make money off, like the Fremennik Kilt making 152k. Then the Team Cape X comes through too for a little less of a profit, 23k, but you know, profit's profit, baby. With only 4.5 mil, finding an item like the Ring of the Gods to try to flip and make money on is kind of hard. That the bow comes through, which is nice. Put that in, that could be a big return, but that's also 100 and some mil invested into one spot. And so the last money I have, I'm like, maybe I can find an item like a Granite Hammer. And the Granite Hammer has some volatility. People use it for PKing and stuff, and I was getting real nervous. 40 minutes goes through, I'm like, the Torva plate legs aren't working. Maybe a Torva full helm will work out better. This far into the video, I was thinking like, man, am I actually gonna be able to make any money? I'm almost 40 minutes in. I've only made, I made a few 100k so far, but not my usual 1 mil plus an hour. But we get the Torva full helm coming through, so that was my first little inclination. I'm like, maybe I can make a little bit of money. The Virtus Mask ends up selling for a profit of 40k, which, hey, 40k is pretty good. That's not too bad. I check and change the price of the Torva full helm because I'm constantly checking those prices. And as we try to throw in an offer in for the Bellator ring, Bellator ring comes through in like 45 seconds, about as long as Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen would survive in a fight nowadays. Cha-ching! The Torva full helm comes through for a profit of 168k. That was awesome. So I put an offer in for the Altor ring, trying to just keep at least 1 or 2 very high value items I can maybe get lucky and make like an 800k profit on. Now that I have that extra change, I cancel out the Granite Hammer and put an offer in for a Saturated Heart. That's another item that has a pretty good daily volume sold, and it can be in good little profit. And speaking of profit, the bow sold for a nice little profit of 316k. Zarite Vambraces are one of those items that I can usually usually flip pretty well if I'm just flipping for fun or for a different video, so I thought maybe this would be a good one. I cancel out the Ring of the Gods, use the extra money to put into Justice Year chest guards, because those are another item that has a pretty good volume, and it comes through pretty quick, so I'm like, awesome, maybe this will work out. It's pretty volatile, and it sells for a nice profit of 128k. You can't beat that, so I'm like, let's go with the face guard now. Because of the challenge of not flipping an item more than once, it's kind of bittersweet making these big profits, because I can't capitalize on and make huge profits. The Bellator ring comes through for a 293k profit. That's beautiful. Let's get that Justice Year armor set going, since I've already tried the other items out, and it comes through pretty quickly, so I'm like, that's pretty nice. Get that going, get that back in there. Saturated Heart comes through, so that's another item I'm trying to sell. So we're up to a handful of sell offers, and those alright van braces come through. I'm like, alright, that's pretty good. This is all going well. The van braces end up selling for a nice, beautiful profit of 133k. An hour after I tried them the first time, I'm like, let's go with Kodai wands again. Kodai wands could be okay, but I immediately am looking at the prices. I'm like doing the calculations. I'm like, wait a minute, with the 1% GE tax, I'm gonna be losing money. Cancel. Let's go Dragon Claws. Dragon Claws are a better item. That's a try and true item for me. I've flipped Dragon Claws probably 1,000 times, and they came through pretty quick, and I'm happy. I'm like, that was a lot better choice than the stupid Kodai wand, and they ended up selling for a really nice 209k profit. That blew my mind. Under normal flipping circumstances, I could make about like 1.5, 1.6 mil off those D-claws. So I put an offer in for the Sang staff. I cancel out these blue moon tassets. I'm trying to find an item that's a little bit higher value to maybe make more money on, since I'm sitting on 50 mil. Virtus robes are always pretty good for me, at least right now they are. The Justice Year wasn't selling for that price, so I dropped it down a little bit, still making a profit, and the Saturated Heart ended up selling for 151k profit. Not too bad. Moving on to money making with Masori bodies, we put an offer in for those, about 119 mil, hoping for the best, try to make another 200-300k profit. The Virtus robe bottoms come through, we're all happy to see that. Put a sell offer in for those, and they end up selling, but it's a loss of 29k, the first loss of the video. Thanks to our homeboy Harry Potter, we can now buy and sell basilisk jaws on the Grand Exchange. How about that? We canceled the Eclipse Exotal because it just wasn't moving after almost an hour, so I put an offer in for an Amulet of Torture. It's an item that sells a lot a day. There's people always buying and selling tortures. The Sanguine staff comes through. That was pretty cool. I'm happy to see that. Justice Year is still not moving, so I dropped the price down even more. It ends up selling for a loss of 65k, our second loss of the video. Down to the final 15 minutes or so here, so I'm trying these Echo Crystals out. It's a newer item, and it actually comes through really fast, 30 seconds or so. I end up trying to sell it, and it ends up selling in less than a minute for a 318k profit. Absolutely insane. I like to try to make the moolah with the Masori mask, so I try that item out, the fortified version of it, trying to just spread my money out. The Basilisk Jaw comes through. Thanks again to Harry Potter for that. The Amulet of Torture comes through, and the Sanguine staff is not moving well, so I'm dropping the price a little bit on that. The Amulet of Torture ends up selling for a nice 37k profit. The last 10 minutes, I'm trying to get an item that has some good speed in selling and buying it, and also I don't want to lose money on these items that I've been trying to sell for the last 10-15 minutes, so I dropped the price of the Sang again, and it ends up selling, and I still make a nice profit of 196k. This Venerator bow is going to be the last item I try flipping. The last 2 minutes here, ticking by fast. I've dropped the price of the jaw again. It doesn't sell. We're down the last 10 seconds or so here. The price still doesn't sell, and at 0 seconds, I cancel all the other offers. Once the jaw sells, it's a loss of 67k. Not the end of the world. I just had to get rid of it. Thanks for nothing, Harry. That brings us to the end of the video. How much money did we make in 2 hours, only able to flip each item once? Looks like 2.3 mil. So if you want a chance to win this 2.3 mil, actually be double 4.6 mil, drop your RSN down below. I'm Jeff, and I'll see you next time.